I'm Savannah, and I, the person standing in front of you speaking right now, am not the same person who stood in the welcoming circle of this first day of the semester, February 7th, 2016. As you can see by scrolling through my Facebook feed, I've been through many different phases in my life, and I really do want to explain them all, but that would take too long, so I'm going to talk about who I was before Coastal Studies for Girls, and that's blurry. That's what messed up. And who I am right now. So throwback to winter, 2 weeks before arriving at CSG, I was cold and I was bored and I was tired of my town. All I wanted was to drive away and never look back. My dream consisted of fleeing to the Rocky Mountains and living in a hut with a guy that looked like this. Growing our own organic food and avoiding all contact with the outside world whatsoever. I hated my town and everyone in it. I hated Maine, and I knew for sure I didn't want to stay. I was pretending to be the person I wanted to be. Smart, kind, chill but powerful, and powerful but humble. And I was failing. I knew I wanted positive change, yet I didn't know how to get there, and so it all started with CSG. In the first unit, we talked about a sense of place and had various readings on the topic. One reading by Wallace Stegner really stuck with me, a quote specifically. It reads, "These migrants drag their exposed roots and have trouble putting them down in new places, and some don't want to put them down." As I read this in February, I felt a bit disturbed by the fact I identified with the migrants dragging their roots, but I shrugged it off and called the reading stupid and not relevant to my situation. But this was the first spark to my new line of thinking. The second unit was about community, inquiry, and change. In humanities, we looked into the history of coastal Maine and its people. This is when I realized I was the only inland Maine resident, as well as the only multi-generational Maine resident, or the only true Mainer, as some may say. And I noticed this gave me a certain sense of pride, which was super weird given that I didn't think place was important and I was going to leave Maine anyway. Why even acknowledge my roots if I was going to rip them up and drag them to the Rocky Mountains just to shove them in the ground there, right? As I learned more about the coast, and as I realized how deep my roots really were in my state and my town, my mind started changing. I called my mom when I started formulating these ideas of actually staying. I talked about the idea of leaving Maine and how weird it felt to me now. The idea of moving to a whole different state where I didn't even know the state bird or the year of establishment was honestly frightening to me. And I've been to every corner of this state, and I have memories in each and every one of them. I've been four-wheeling in Jackman. I've hiked in Baxter State Park, attended the Hot Air Balloon Festival in Presque Isle, fished in Monticello, been to Moxie Falls multiple times, swam in Acadia National Park on Christmas Day, and had 16 Halloweens, 16 Christmases, and 16 birthdays in Newport. Having so much knowledge about a place is so powerful. There's such content that comes from knowing everything about one place, knowing where you're going without needing a map, living driving distance away from your grandparents, and seeing a familiar face in the grocery store. And what I've said may give you the impression that I want to live in my mom's basement my entire life, never lived in the house and never seen the sunlight, but it's not like that. I want to travel and see the world. I want to backpack the Appalachian Trail and the Pacific Crest. I want to see the Great Pyramid of Giza and the ruins of the Aztec Empire, but I can do all of that while still returning to my home to live, work, and thrive. And I'm not the only one with these ideas. For example, a huge crop of young farmers has recently landed in Maine. The number of farmers under 25 in Maine tripled between 2002 and 2007. Though this information is a bit outdated, MOFGA, Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association, workers have reported that the average age of those pursuing apprenticeships has dropped every single year. These people are choosing to literally put their roots in the ground here while they are still young. They are choosing to give up the life of moving around for staying in one place. Through growing their own food in its soil, building their home on its earth, and building a community on its ground, they are experiencing something that so many people don't get to experience. These people are living examples of finding the adventure that comes from digging deep into one place. I haven't had to do much searching to find my place. I was born here, I was raised here, and I plan to stay. I want to attend college and pursue a career here. I want to return here after long trips away to the place that I have in which I have grounded myself, grateful that I have such a thing. And most of all, I want to be able to have a place I call home, surrounded by my family, my friends, and my community. To many, it's a radical notion. Staying in one place makes some cringe, and I understand that because that's how I felt for so long. But to those people, I want to give advice. Through all of your travels, through airplane windows, through the windshield of your car, find somewhere you love. Find a place you want to see your grandchildren grow. Find a place where you could see yourself 60 years from now. And do me a favor. Grab the roots you've been dragging around for so long and plant them. And if you don't seem to have any roots, ground your feet and grow some. Thank you.